Nuh-uh.
The fuck you mean, nah?
What's up, you guys, and welcome to Sith Happens. I'm Eric the Dadalorian, and I want to thank you guys for joining us today for another episode as we talk Star Wars. Now, as usual, I am joined by my two bestest of friends. I know them as Matty Ice and Ant, but you might know them on Instagram as Black Series Daily Desk, and I am not a committee. How are we doing, boys?
Hello there. Doing great after that episode.
Oh yeah, my God, 100%. Yes.
Doing fantastic tonight, really. Could not be happier. I'm ready to dive in, as they say.
Yeah.
Hell,
what a night of Star Wars.
Oh my God, dude. Seriously.
I've been so excited for it too. Like, yes. I was just like,
did not disappoint.
I can't wait to talk.
Work, and I was just like, you guys, Star Wars time. Are you ready?
Yes, that was the same type of day for me. Man. I know he's busy, but he's same type of day for me, brother. Like I had to get done on time. I was at work and it was kicking my ass today, and I was like, I cannot wait for tonight. So for our viewers and listeners at home, we got some fun stuff planned today. So we're gonna give our episode 7 Skeleton Crew breakdown. We're gonna do a little bit of Collector's Corner, and even at the very end, we're going to do our Sith Happens live, our Sith Happens T-shirt giveaway, which we'll be doing on Instagram Live as well. So let's get into this, and for all you listening and watching, spoiler warning. That's right. I gotta get my soundboard ready, right?
Yeah, you have a soundboard from last. I can't believe you weren't ready with that. I mean, that was the big reveal last week. Was that you got a soundboard?
He got so geeked up about this awesome episode that he
dude, and that's it, man.
That's okay.
This episode blew me the hell away. This was the best episode of Skeleton Crew by far. This was it. This was it. Absolutely.
I feel like we've got a big rating moment.
Alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, spoiler warning, big rating coming. But yeah, like, so honestly, it was, first and foremost, like, I think the thing that I enjoyed the most out of this is it was the most visually stunning episode we've had by far so far. It was absolutely gorgeous. The shots in space and the way that the maelstrom was around the planet when they were getting there and everything like that. Absolutely.
The maelstrom gave me Aldani vibes in a good way. Did it
Yeah,
give you guys that?
kind
Not with the celestial bodies. Like, that's a different thing. But it had a little bit of Aldani vibes, and it also gave me a little bit of vibes of episode 4 of Ahsoka, 4, where they go into the planet with the Purgle. And you're kind of seeing them go by the Purgle. It was like a nice marriage of that and then something else. Like, it feels like it took some greatest hits for me and made them new.
Kiss.
Yes, absolutely, man. So what do you guys think about the opening on it and everything? Like, the whole, give me your thoughts.
Go ahead.
So I think I like that you saw the parents get some agency, but I like that the parents kind of aren't always being fully, brought into it. The way that I didn't need them to be. It's like just the right amount of the parents. And I think it was good because you're really ready for this to go. I think the name of the episode is like, We're in Trouble Now or something like that, or Now We're in Trouble. And it was a nice way to you knew everything was coming together. I was actually surprised by how quickly they got to AT-AT.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
Which I liked, by the way. It was a pleasant surprise.
It turned out amazing. Absolutely.
And on that note, I mean, the whole episode was like a very fun, fast pace, and it didn't leave you, at any point sitting there like, here's a slow moment. No, it was one after another.
I'll tell you what was not fast-paced was the parents' speed when they were running in the forest, because I think my daughter and son can run faster than that, brother.
They're making up for that Leia run in Obi-Wan everybody made fun of.
I'll tell you what, and must skip cardio day, bro. Like,
they don't need that. They don't need it.
They're bankers. I mean, that's
I guess that is
the
true.
Perfect planet. They don't need it.
They lunch at their desks. They don't have to worry about being late to coming back from that. But
they probably freaked out if they stepped on a twig.
Yeah,
there's no stormtrooper
peaceful people
for them.
And I guess we can, I guess now the security droids are the Star Wars version of the Gestapo, essentially. So.
Well, it's really it's building up, and we'll get to this later. But I think you're gonna find out who the administrator or whatever they call the person, the supervisor is. And I don't think it's gonna be that voice. I think it's gonna be very interesting when you find out. I have a hope and a feeling it's a reveal. Yeah, we'll get to that, but I think it's going to be interesting. And I have a weird thought on it that's definitely a wild theory when we get to it that is not going to come true, but I'm going to throw it out there.
I'm not sure what to expect with it, to tell you the truth. So for me, it's up in the air.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a very silly thing when we get to some of this, that there's a thing on the Brutus toy that happened in the show that is a total accident, but it made my day. But like on that note, I think starting then with the kids really having kind of the time of their lives on the ship and being kids again. And, you know, when you think about where they started and being at odds, right? And now they're just little friends playing around on a ship. It was the bond that they formed coming back was really cool.
Yeah,
and absolutely.
If nothing else, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't have, and I think maybe a good thing, they didn't have a cliche saying from one of them about, well, if nothing else, you know, we've got each other now.
Yeah, the real treasure was the friends we made along the way. I was still
thinking it right here.
Oh God, don't even.
Yeah, I feel that way about this podcast. No,
right.
but the
hold it near and dear.
All right, don't make me quit now.
Yeah, but that was all cute, and you know, with Wim kind of like good setup for whatever because he's gonna have a payoff in the next episode, right? That like, oh, the adventure's over and I'm going back to being myself. He's still gotta have like his hero's moment, even though he saved KB last week, and I think that's gonna come through fully as we get into that finale. Like it needs to for the point of how they're doing this show with the kids.
Well, I think it's all going to come to head too, because if you, I caught it in the episode too, where they talked about, so the parents know that this reality that they're all living in, it's BS essentially. Like, they dropped a line in there saying that, you know, you weren't supposed to find this out yet or something like that. So like, it leaves to question that they probably potentially know what has happened on the outside. Maybe not to the extent of everything, but potentially that the Republic has collapsed and stuff like that. And maybe that's the reason they have stayed hidden, was because they saw what the Empire was, and that's why they're hidden now.
Well, my question is, well, you go first, Dan, because I've been talking it up.
Excuse me. No, I was just gonna say, just to kind of add to that, you know. Well, shoot, now you guys, I've lost my train of thought.
All right, cool. That was my plan. Cool, my plan worked. So I think one thing I want to say is they're referencing the Republic. We don't know if that's the New Republic. We don't know if that's the Old Republic. Just the Republic. They don't make it super clear when these emissaries come. So I don't know how much people know or don't know is the one thing I'll say. Like, they may think they're a secret bank, which is something I was thinking about throughout it. Like, it's very vague. Go for it, bud.
That just reminded me, and all it was just when they were making those comments, the parents, like, it didn't seem like it was a frequent activity.
Yeah.
It was like, here and far between. In fact, later on, or when the ship came down and when it opened up, I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, the people that are like scattering off of it. I was like, I wonder how many of them even know this exists. Like, is it possible?
I thought the same thing.
Decades.
Is it like a nuclear drill in the 50s, right? Like, they've been prepping to go run and hide under their desks for them to come and the money to get swapped. Like, it's definitely like a thought that I had. Like, I don't know how in tune everybody is. Like, they may have an inkling that they've been hidden. They may not be told what's going on. They don't know. They may not know that we're on the second version of the Republic that they're thinking of. So
that's
that in and of itself. But I also, one of the couple of things, I love that they were using the snub fighters that Gory and Shard used.
Yes, I like that.
Like,
too.
I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really cool. And I love the line when it goes in and it explodes and it just cuts back and they're all looking at it and Jod goes, "So we try again?" And like, it was just like, that to me was like super awesome. I love that sequence and that awe. Yeah, he's awesome. And
yes, and we're going to talk about that because I think we hit a point of no return today that we will.
100%.
Yeah, we all talked about potential, you know, like comeback moment for him. I think that is long gone at this point,
and I'm okay with it now. The way they're handling it,
he's nailing this character.
He does not play bad guys a lot, but he killed it in this so far.
The acting is just phenomenal. Like, but I could talk about that on our separate side Jude Law podcast.
Yeah, he's in the closet. He's ready to go for the finale. I told you, he's been locked up here since the first episode. Shut up, Jude.
But
Jesus,
no,
he just wants to talk.
Everything about this one, with him and leading up to that moment was just incredible. And now
it really was.
Yeah, how's he even there? You know, I'm like, what did I miss? Did I miss something?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the one thing that I did not expect in this episode was Brutus just getting nerfed.
Oh that was it. When they did the thing with the acid in the previous episode, you're like, he's definitely a bad guy. Yeah. And then now he did that, and it's like what we're saying, it cemented it. Mm-hmm. And I said last week I want a Brutus showdown, but I'm so good with how they did this because that moved the plot forward in a very awesome and unexpected moment.
A very firm direction.
Yeah, exactly.
It happened in a way I just never would have pictured. I figured a big gunfight showdown. Dude's got like 5 blasters on him, and he never got to use one of them in a fight, really.
But if you think about it, like, how would he have defeated him? Like, he's not like Jod. I mean, we know he kind of knows his way around a lightsaber. Obviously, we figured that out. But truly, Brutus is this kind of like force. He's clearly he's brute force. So it was a cool way to do it because one, Brutus is so arrogant he gets caught in the claw. 2, that's who Jod is. He's not going to go after him in a 1-to-1 in a 1-to-1. He's gonna if that's the opportunity, he's going to take it.
If ever Jod had that in him, those days are long gone.
Oh yeah.
I gotta say, before we get away from Brutus, this is what I was going to tell you guys. That is the dumbest thing that made me so happy. So on the Brutus action figure, he has the bandolier with the 3 pistols, and there's a tiny pistol that's down like right below or like at the rib cage. Whenever you try to pose this figure for a photo, that thing is in the way in a way that's like annoying, and I've tried to turn it the other way, which makes it look silly. But I was like, just for this, when they're throwing him in the airlock, that pistol is dangling by a thread from falling off that bandolier. Yeah. And it's like such a silly thing. And I don't know how I caught it. Like, I was just watching it tell me, and it was like the Leonardo DiCaprio with the beer doing that. And I'm like, my God, it's hard in real life, too.
He probably zip-tied it to his costume on set or something like that. Like, dude's getting pissed off. Like, this thing won't stay in my costume.
I was like, I get it, guys. I get it. The costumer and I have similar gripes, and nobody caught that. I loved that, and I think so many great moments there on the ship. I mean, him coming down, what do you guys think about that with the Silvo helmet? Like,
it was
impressive.
I think it was kind of a full circle thing because we saw him like kind of go through almost a little bit of a good guy arc, fall back into the bad guy routines, and then once he committed, he put the helmet back on, and from there it was just honestly game on at that point.
Yeah, I mean that's who he is.
I kind of think he just, and I mean it could be. I like what you're saying, Eric. Don't get me wrong, but I kind of think on this one, I don't think he had the helmet. I just don't think he had it. See, I think the mystery and the epicness of this character is that like this is like what you're thinking, where I kind of think the reality is that just he's a bad guy.
No,
he just pulled that shroud over all of us. And
it's what
Matt,
I got
a reference to what you had said last week about the, seeing it through the kid's eyes and how that's how we're viewing it, and that was I really love that. So I kind of watched it a little bit more so that this week that way, and I loved it. So, but no, he's just bad. He's a fucking bad dude.
Yeah, and until that gut punch that we'll get to shortly, which also had a hilarious line right before, I still, the helmet on, when he was by the kids, there's a little part of me that was like, oh, well, he wouldn't do anything to hurt them. And then once we had that gut punch moment with the lightsaber, he was like, all right, nope, he's bad. I committed. But also, who wants to do the line? That's not how it works.
No,
who wants to do it? Who wants to say the line? Who wants to say it?
I don't
Close enough.
He goes, boom. Sometimes it works like that.
Sometimes that's what it was. Sometimes it works like that. That was. I'll tell you what. My boy 33 came back for me, man. Like I was like, so like when all that was happening too, I was just like, okay, this is kind of going in a way I didn't expect, and then 33 flips on him, and I'm like, okay,
and it breaks the helmet.
Yeah,
breaks.
Like, hey, you got your helmet back, not anymore.
Yeah, and that's like, for me, it's so rare. You know, a lot of shows have these big moments. You know, I yelled when he got hit with the lightsaber, no, and like, oh, when Brutus, you know, got shot. But this was like a,
oh yeah.
Like, you know, like if you were in a movie theater, like
standing ovation.
Yeah, it was just, he deserved, and they're doing such a good job of making him so awful that, you know, like when that happened, you just wanted someone to punch him. And I think that was just, and I guessed it last week that that's what was going to happen. But it was just, it's done, this cinematic element of this and the callbacks to things like we talked about from last week, from previous episodes, it's done so well and it's planned so well. And it feels like, to me, it took so long to come out, right? It was,
yeah, it did.
This was, it had the right, obviously, yeah.
It was one of the first ones that was ever talked about.
Yeah, like
it
2020.
was years ago. It was first like brought up, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I think that the time that it took to bring this to life really allowed them to really think these things out and create what will, I think, ultimately, in essence, be a 5-hour movie, which I'm fine with. You know, and that's really kind of
100%. This is absolute like movie quality. Everything of it, the visuals, the acting, everything about it is absolutely top tier when it comes to that. Anyways, but yeah, when they get down to the planet, like, so I was really curious how this was going to work. You know, firstly, going through the maelstrom itself, like I said from the beginning, super visually stunning. I was extremely pleased with the way that they did it. And then I don't know if you guys caught it. So like when the ship is flying by one of those, the defense grid, it actually flips green and because it recognizes the ship. So I was like, okay, so this is like a legit tracking system. I didn't know if it was, I didn't know exactly how they were going to like explain it, but I like how it was just kind of like a subtle, like, I guess, nod to it, so to say, anything that it's like, that's how it tracks it and everything like that and gives safe passage. So, and
I thought that whole scene was incredible. With all the lightning and the effects, and it all looked so real at the same time, like just incredible.
The money on the screen, and I think one of the things I thought was cool when they were talking about the ship must be the key. Today, there was some meme I saw that showed you the Onyx Cinder before last week, and then you know where we left it last week, and I was thinking about how much sleeker and nicer it looks without that stuff on it. Like, what happened there? And then when you find out that he stole the ship to bring it back, and they even, really nice notes here, they even talk about how, they don't make them like that anymore. Like, look at that. Like, that's old school awesome.
Too, yeah.
He had to make the ship look different so people weren't like, hey, where'd you get that ship? Yeah. So like that is, and he created a device that was like the manual hull deletion or, destruction. That's fake. It's so nobody touches that button so that nobody finds out what the ship really is. Yeah. And I think that that's such a cool little touch because like even last week I was kind of like, wow, for something that feels like that sort of almost should be an escape pod, that is a sleek, powerful, it almost looks like a faster ship and not in like it's smaller way, like a more powerful, from a speed standpoint at least, type of ship.
And more elegance to it, so to say.
Exactly. Yeah. And I thought that was that was a cool touch. Like, just again, like the way they're thinking about these things, like that's a little clue there to why it looked so much better. Like there's no real way to find holes in this, is what I'm saying. Also, like when you think about it, like I can't think of anything I would have done differently, but also that I'm like, wait, does that make sense? Because it all really does within the context of what they're doing.
Yeah, no,
you're not wrong.
Does. Yeah, and honestly, we got to talk about on the ship. That is where Jod just goes full bad.
What do you guys
holds the kids at saber point, and it's just like I was like, damn, this.
He was
like,
not fucking around.
No, like he was. Like all the charisma went out the window at that point, and like he was threatening to chop up the families and stuff. And I'm just like, good God, I thought this was a kid's show.
Pieces, I think, were his words.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was like jabbing the lightsaber. Like, it was really piratey the way he was doing it. Like I was like, I don't think you should be pointing that like that. In general, for safety reasons. Yeah, sorry, excuse me, sir. But yeah, and the speech was great, and I think that delivered well because there's an element of like a babysitter that is go to bed, kids. That is like so. I've placated this for so long and I've done it for payment. I'm not your friend. Like I used to babysit these two kids that wouldn't go to sleep. And I feel like if I had a lightsaber at some point 23 years ago, that speech might have really happened.
Yeah.
And so like that.
Well, let me tell you, as a parent to two toddlers, yeah, probably.
We got to take away your lightsabers. That's all I got of that.
I got a lot of them. You'll have to.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
right.
But
no more kids.
No,
so that's
no. Oh, listen. That
no more
is
kids.
Long,
that's a good sign. Yeah,
that is long gone. But anyway, so I was particularly interested how it was gonna happen when they got back down to the planet, and when we saw them arrive, you could tell that this was something that had not happened in a long time.
Yeah.
Not just in the effect that like nobody really knew what the hell was happening, but also in the effect that the landing pad was like it looked paved over. Like it was, I think it was still, still considered operational, but like they paved over that years and years ago. It looked like, honestly.
That's
so
either that or it's there. It's like hidden. That's
I don't even know.
I thought. Like,
I don't know.
It's
hidden, no doubt.
Looking that way.
It looked like the way it looked when like the landing pad was coming up is like stuff was like breaking off. So it was like I think they just paved over it. Like they hadn't had something they come in like 100 years or something like or more or something like that.
Time, but I don't know.
Let's just talk about that vault, man.
Did they say there's 100,039 more of them or something crazy like that?
Yeah, it was over 100. It was like over 1,000. I think it was like
maybe
1,349 or something like that.
39.
Yeah, and like you saw how much was in one of those. Imagine as a pirate, that is what you come across. That's why he's bathing in the data reads.
He Scrooge McDucked it. He was like doing a backstroke and spitting gold out of his mouth.
And the droid's just standing there like the droid's strict as hell on everything else, and he's just like, oh yeah, it's cool. The ambassador here or emissary is just like, oh, roll it in the gold. You don't think
exactly.
Freak?
I think we know those droids are
bathtub.
I think we know those droids are devoid of nuance at this point, so it's not a surprise. Just like, are you going to take the gold or not, sir?
We're going to get a figure of those droids, and I will begrudgingly buy it, but
with how thin and how small they are, they better not be full price. I'll say that.
They're going to be impossible to stand up, and they'll be full price.
It's going to be like the B1 battle droids from freaking Republic Commando that I could not get that thing to stand up for the life of me.
He's tough.
Oh, and is that one tough to stand up? Would you say that one's tough to stand up? Okay, cool. For listeners who are new, when I say I can't stand up a figure, Anthony likes to show me on the podcast how easy it is to stand up a figure. So when that figure comes out, we're gonna have a little stand-up standoff.
Here,
don't even dare. Look. Yeah, Grievous is standing up. It's delightful. Oh, good little picture happening.
Okay.
I didn't say that guy was hard to stand up.
Hey, I'm just saying. I was just fiddling with it over here with my arm.
You have the touch. You are a person of perfect balance and harmony.
Also, I can't move this arm because of the COVID shot. It's literally numb, so it's fine.
I've gotten a little bit better with that, getting them posed and stuff since I started the action figure photography and stuff like that. There is definitely an art to it.
Do you have a soundboard that says "shameless plug"?
Yeah, seriously.
Not quite. Not yet.
The shots you've been popping out lately
have been great.
Have been fun. And you down in Florida have some awesome, I imagine, just from what I've seen so far, but some awesome opportunities outside.
Yeah, no, I get
waste dumps.
I honestly get a lot of good stuff in my area is the thing, and it's like I get a lot of good wilderness areas around me, so I'm planning to go get some more of those here pretty soon. So I got a good Balin shot that I showed you guys already. I'm planning for tomorrow. I was very happy with that Q901 I got today.
Oh, I love
Do we put an over-under on when Eric buys his first actual Dio to put figures in front of?
I was looking at him today, actually.
Get one of those $20 ones.
Yeah, we started with
$20 ones that Matt shared. I don't know if he shared it with us, but anyways, it's awesome. I've taken several fantastic pictures from extreme sets.
Yeah. All right, but we're getting way off Skeleton Crew at this point.
Sorry,
Anyway, so and honestly, getting to the end scene there, parents reunite with the kids, all heartwarming, and then Jad just comes out and whips that saber to the side, and I'm just like, oh, and I knew it was gonna end there. I was like, oh, dude, what's gonna happen next week?
Yeah, exactly.
So remember,
that's the question.
remember last week when I told you guys I'm 100% sure that they took his saber when he left the planet? I was like, I'm almost sure he did. Like when I said to you guys it was 100%, and when you didn't see it until you saw it this episode, I was like, was I wrong? I really don't want to be wrong. Like, they really just leave us. That feels like a really left behind plot point. I can't be wrong. And then, as much as I hate him cutting Smee's head off, I was like, we didn't even talk about that yet. That was
We just
glossed over it.
I don't think it's the last we've seen of Smee, but also the show has proved me wrong every single time, almost. Well, not really, because I said Smee.
What if the mouse kind of pulls and does the wires back together?
And he can solder a head back on.
Hey, it's a mouse.
You don't know.
Anything.
It could be like the Ratatouille rat, but like a mouse for droid repair. You don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, it's Disney. All right, you don't know.
That'd be awesome. Then there's gonna be a whole spin-off show. There's gonna be a whole spin-off show about the mouse, like a Ratatouille show, but about this mouse fixing.
Yeah, I want.
It'll be fun.
The mouse is the Ratatouille mouse. He's been driving SM33. That's why he's always in there.
It's just a giant
everything's
Gundam.
connected.
Yeah, what I think is interesting about this whole thing too is watching this show again. How much will you like Jude Law at the beginning in the way that you did now that you've gotten
incredibly
to hear?
less.
And showing this to somebody for the first time if they're with you, it's going to be really hard to keep your yap shut when they tell you how much they like him. Because you go back to how likable he was.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to watch this with somebody who has not seen it. Oh, man, I like this guy. And you're just going to be like, yeah, fuck that dude.
You're just going to be like, and I always have a problem with the, like, wait for it. Like, I try not to do that with stuff. But I have a problem. Like, we'll be watching a movie like my wife hasn't seen before, and she'll be like, I think that this character is going to die. And I'll be like, just wait. And like, whenever I say that, she knows that I'm affirming what she says, but I don't really know how to acknowledge or answer it. So I'm bad. I'm bad with that, with poker face on that stuff.
Yeah,
but
I'm the same way.
Can I tell you guys my crazy theory?
Yes,
Okay,
I want to hear
it. That is not. It's not true. This is not. If this happens, I may retire from Star Wars theories because, first of all, it would be very hard to make this make sense. But this was just the weird thing that I said to Jen, my wife, who's the unofficial fourth host that just helps me set everything up and that I refer to all the time. But I said this to Jen at the end of the episode. I go, we haven't seen the administrator yet, right? There was a character that we all caught on IMDb that had the same last name as Jot Supervisor. That got corrected by our fourth host, our producer. Jod Nunawad, same last name this Jedi had. So I think that was taken out for a reason off IMDb because it was there for a reason. So there's going to be some kind of a flashback next episode or crazy theory that won't happen. What if the administrator is somehow connected to Jod and it's like this woman that comes out and she's like Jod and he's like Janet and then they're like, oh, and they're like, either there's a flashback, but it was a crazy. It's not going to happen.
I don't think we'll get a flash. I don't think we'll get much of a flashback for the
I don't think so
season finale.
Hold on, Matt. If
in the back of the room we think it's AI, so if that's right, everybody, then we got to credit my wife Jen next week.
If everything
Jen Nanawad
was from the old Republic, or maybe the High Republic days, who knows? Isn't it possible that it could be connected in that sense?
Darth Malgus, you're right. No, I'm kidding.
No.
It's not going to be Darth Malgus.
Listen, the Jedi are always involved with the Republic.
Darth Nihilus turned into a banker.
All right, you're never getting Darth Nihilus, all right, bud? Sorry.
Okay, listen, though,
it's too
Matt,
dark for
this
Disney.
Is supporting your theory.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Jedi are always involved with the Republic. So if the Republic was doing something with these planets, perhaps it would make sense to send an overseer, a Jedi.
That's where my head was at with that.
Yeah.
That is where my head was at with that. So, like, if it was, like, lineage, maybe, or, like, that's a Jedi whose name he stole when he just said that. Like, that could be... Like, I'm telling you, it's a crazy theory. I don't think it's going to happen, but there could be a name connection. I don't know. Jen just texted me. She goes, Acolyte crossover. It's the Stranger.
Oh, boy.
No kidding. But
let's not go there. We don't want to light that fire again.
But anyway, right? Like, there is a way. We're getting into a what if episode now, but I'm excited. There is a way that there could be something like that. I'm just saying.
Say it's like so unlikely. We've had way further out there theories on this podcast. And to me, that would actually.
But they didn't come true.
They did not.
But they've been.
Listen, I had a theory this whole point up until this point that I kind of kept it down to myself, honestly, just because I was like, it's so not going to happen. But I was kind of tying these all together. It's not going to happen, but it's one I had regardless. So y'all remember in the Kenobi series when Obi-Wan said he remembered having a brother when he was little?
Oh, really? That's okay.
I was like, okay, so what if, he remembers having the brother and everything, Order 66 happens, his brother gets kind of lost, like he's not taken into the Jedi per se, he stays with the family, but, he develops the abilities and everything like that, because, the midichlorian count kind of stays within the family, so to say, and everything, so he would kind of have that, and grows up in this nasty Imperial era, grows into this really hard dude, becomes a pirate, and I'm just like, I was like, it's a far-fetched idea.
Bud, listen, the fandom will shit blood, but I will buy you the action figure of your choosing if that happens next week. How about that? Because that would be awesome. We were talking about Obi-Wan's brother in my house last weekend when we were rewatching the prequels about like when kids get taken away and like Anakin didn't have the opportunity to forget everybody. Obi-Wan kind of remembered his brother. So first of all, deja vu. Second of all, that's kind of a crazy theory, but one that I'm like, I'd be cool with that. I'd be super cool with that.
I think it'd be interesting. Like I don't the chances
I don't know how they'd make it work, but
I don't think, like I said, it was one I've been kind of holding down because I was like, this is like way out there type of thing, but
I love that.
But
anyways, the fact that you'd be embarrassed by any dumb thing that anybody could say on this podcast hurts me. We need to create more of a safe space. But I don't think that's
I wasn't afraid to say something dumb. It was just when it was like so far out there. I was like, nah, I'm not going to bring that up. But yeah, and then honestly, guys, I think we're approaching it here, but I think we can wrap up and give our episode ratings. And normally I let you guys go first, but I'm popping in for this one.
Dang.
This is my 10. This is my 10 out of 10.
This is
like
your grail.
Y'all know, like everybody who watches this show knows, I'm a little bit more stingy with my episode ratings. I like to, save my highest scores for the ones that I know are going to be special. This was good. This was so good. This had everything. It had great action. It had great comedy. It had great acting, and it had great visuals. This is everything that I would look for in a movie, and this is a television show, mind you. So, 10 out of 10, man. Easy for me.
Do you know when you go to a restaurant and it says like it was a Zagat or like a Michelin 4-star? Do you think we can send Lucasfilm a sticker that says Episode 7 of Skeleton Crew was a Dadalorian 10? Like, I don't know if that carries any clout.
I'll go ahead and I'll make a little sticker for him, I guess, or something.
Yeah. Hey, John and Dave, put this on your window.
Yes. Dadalorian approved.
You want to go?
Are you done, Eric?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I really can't, honestly, like, if I don't stop myself, I'll talk about it for another 30 minutes, so.
Well, hey, we're going to make this real easy, because I'm a solid 10 right there with you.
Hell yeah.
I loved it, and there were certain parts that on the inside it hurt a little bit, but, like 33, I just don't even want to say it out loud still, but yeah. No, hopefully something happens there. There'll be a happy droid who can fix him somewhere. But it pulled out all the heartstrings. It was action packed. It was emotional and visually fucking stunning. Pardon my French.
So I was going to hear you swear too often. Yeah. But no, I think so. We have our little group chat that we talk, the three of us, all the time. For those of you listening, Ant said something that I think was probably the most accurate. He's like, "Hey, so I can't join the podcast tonight because I died watching that episode." I died.
He was dying.
I'm dead.
But yeah,
it was amazing. It was, and it's for me not quite there, but it was up there with episode 4 of The Acolyte, or 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 was the big one, I think.
5. Yeah.
Oh, you liked the walk on the hill? That got you? I'm just kidding. The end of that episode, though, we will not get into this. The end of that episode is something else. I remember us freaking out about that, Eric.
That's my favorite episode of Star Wars TV right now, and this one came pretty damn close.
This is right up there, honestly. Like it's not quite Mandalorian season 2 finale, but it's up
Different.
there.
Totally different. There's like things that go into that rating, so you're good on that. I'm gonna have to disagree with both of you. For me, this episode was a 10.1. And that is because I'm just kidding. It's a 10. It's 10. But that is because every time we get to a episode before a finale, there have been so many where like, you know, we've all been like, oh, it was like a 9 point whatever. In this case, I don't think we've ever had like a 10 like this, like a solid, like this was a 10 or something like this. But I've never been so excited for a finale on a Star Wars show where I'm confident that they're going to stick the landing. And I think that is the difference. Like, I'm excited, and there's no doubt in my heart that we're going to, next week, everybody, it's going to be a 3-hour episode. Like, I just, you know, like, there's no doubt in my heart, that's why it's a 10 for me, because it's been a phenomenal season. You know, I think even what I said last week, the episode I thought was a little slower. It was still, as I look back, I will rewatch that when I rewatch the show. But it's just, expectations couldn't be higher, and I will be crushed if we don't like the finale, just because I don't think if you're bringing back John Watts to direct this final episode and you have the same writers, like, I can't imagine a world where they don't stick this landing. So like, I am just ready and excited with a 10 this week, and next week we might have to go at a scale of 20. We'll talk about that right before.
We'll find out.
But go into the Kelvin scale, or I don't know, something, right? But so
how many Scovilles?
Yeah, right.
It's a hot tamale. But yeah.
Yeah, so honestly, great episode. I am so stoked for next week. Can't wait to talk about it with you two as soon as that wraps up, because that is going to be something special, honestly. So moving into our next segment, we got Collector's Corner, and let's see what you guys have. Matt, why don't you lead us off, brother?
So you guys both know what I have. It's not a surprise for anybody because it came 10 days early as a pre-order. Came 10 days early.
I know now.
I was not checking if anything was delivered because I didn't expect to get anything for 10 days. Some people have gotten it already on the internet, but I feel like I'm one of the first that's not like an influencer. It is the A New Hope updated Luke Skywalker Black Series.
Farm boy.
Let me tell you guys, look at first of all, I'm just going to say, I know some folks aren't watching, but please watch us on YouTube. Look at people were making fun of this portrait when they premiered it. Look at the portrait on this figure. It's a picture of Mark Hamill. It's insane. If you look at this from the side, it looks like the promo pictures from A New Hope.
So the thing I think people forget a lot about is in between A New Hope and Empire, which is where he kind of had the more signature, like he had that accident where he had a lot of facial reconstruction surgery done. So he does look incredibly different in between those two episodes.
Yeah, it's hard to get that portrait because of the face scan and all that. But this is, when I tell you guys, when we talk about how they're upping their game, when you guys get this figure in your hand, first of all, it's like my least favorite Luke outfit. So I just kind of got it because I was like, well, I want the figure. The original one is so old and terrible. Like, I want this new Luke. And when it came, it gave me the vibes of when the first wave of Power of the Force came out.
Oh, God.
I just got a new Star Wars story. Like, I was talking about it with our good friend Crispy SBS, who's a big fan of the cast too. My friend Jimmy knows you guys. He was saying the same thing. And it was like, yeah, but like we remember getting that wave, right?
Yes.
And the thing about this figure is it is truly like an evolution when you think about that early figure in sculpting. So I'm going to show you guys a couple things here. First of all, this pouch on the back of him clips out and locks back in. So it's not a piece that stretches when he's being, when you're posing him.
They've upped their game with accessories so much.
This is going to be impossible to show, and I don't know if you can. You really can't. You kind of can on camera. Inside of his sleeves, where there's a gap where an arm would actually go, there is a flesh-colored forearm that nobody can see. Oh. The forearm is detailed on the inside of this figure. Like, I cannot tell you how much I'm gushing over. Like, and it's like, for me, for storytelling, I've got to figure out ways to work it into a story because he wore this outfit for 48 hours of what we know in canon and Star Wars. And the other thing, and the last thing that's...
Send them down to me. I'll take some photos down in the sand.
No, it's all good. I've got some ideas. But so the other thing, and this is also going to be really hard to see on camera. Let me see if I can get the right angle here. I keep gushing to you guys about how the paint apps on the weapons have become so much better. The button, can you guys see this on camera? You guys tell me. Hold on, let me try that. It's hard to do the camera.
Right there.
The button, it's red.
Wow.
right on the lightsaber.
Yeah, you can.
Like, it's over the course of having this for like 24 hours at my work desk, like fiddling with it between calls, or if like I'm off camera, I have ADD, so like you'll see me on the cast looking down all the time at the toy that I'm going to show because can't focus without doing it. I just keep uncovering little things like the button and the flesh colored arms, and I'm just like, well, this was meant to help me focus by having like a fidget object, but now I'm not focused. And then the only other thing that it does come with, just because in the spirit of showing the accessories, are the binoculars, which that's fine. They're binoculars, painted really well. They look great. They're in scale, unlike the huge ones that came with the original figure. The thing that's a bummer is
any number of things.
They are really wide, so it's going to be hard to get this in any figure's hand. I think it's more of like a prop you'd use. And on the back, the lightsaber hooks into this really cleanly, by the way. Like, you can't pull the figure upside down, but feels a lot more secure than the other Luke figures. There's a little piece in the back here that in theory is the same shape as the lightsaber hook. Hook is too flexible, so this kind of becomes something that if you're going to display the figure and you want to stretch the hand, like the left hand, go for it. For me, that's going to be like a prop in some of the pictures I take. But like, I mean, that figure is a 50 out of 10. Like, and now that we know from the leak, I'm finally getting my A New Hope Han Solo update at some point in the next year.
There you go.
I couldn't be more excited.
All over again.
My Leia's coming in 2 weeks, so if I get it before one of you guys, I'll obviously do that. It was maybe earlier because it was supposed to come with this. And rumor has it we're going to get a new Chewie also. So lots more fun to come. And then after that, I'll just start complaining until they make a new Han Solo and Bespin. So get ready for that once the Han and A New Hope gets announced.
I need a carbonite one.
When you told me that, I didn't realize you didn't have it. I have that figure.
I sent it to you in case you did not have it. So like, we're for those of you listening and watching, Matt and Ant were just like talking over the weekend, and I found like the carbonite Han Solo on eBay for like wicked cheap, and I sent it over to him with like just the huge eyes because it was like pretty cheap actually. But
you know what's funny? I got that figure for $7 on eBay on a card because the card had broken, so the bubble was dangling off, and nobody bought it. I guess I was just lucky enough to be an out of box collector that saw it that day. Because it was on a bubble pack card, like a standard blister card. So I got that card when that figure was going for a lot. I got it for like nothing, solely because the package was like really damaged. So when you said that, I need to take more photos with that figure. I was like, oh my God, that's just sitting in my closet. Sorry, not to be arrogant about it, but I will yield the floor after my big opening.
Well, Ant, what do you got to show off?
Well, speaking of figures that were $7,
he has a.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
it's a little hard to see.
Oh.
Lean into the mic. Tell everybody what it is on there, just in case they can't.
The Holocron Darth Maul. Little hard to see here. What if we do this?
Yeah, it's better in back.
Better.
So I picked this one up. I had stopped by Target the other day, and went into the aisle as you do.
As you do.
And
as one wants to do.
And I started seeing clearance stickers. I'm like, what the hell? So I've been seeing this figure at the Targets in my area, and it retails at $34.99, and that's what it literally said on the peg, and the sticker says $7.49. So I was like, all right, for $7, I have to,
absolutely. That's a steal.
So I go up there, and the kid rings it up, and it's $34.99, and he's like, all right, cash your card. And I was like, well, there's that clearance sticker. He's like,
but sir.
He's probably like 19, 20 years old. Yeah. And he was like, oh, yeah. And he just types in manually, like, the amount on here, $7.49. He typed that in, and that's what he charged me. And I was like, no tax. All right, here we go. So,
you gonna find that kid a job?
Yeah, I have to in finance.
Special guest.
Couple things about that clearance, though. If you look, you can't see it, but on the clearance sticker it says was $24.99, now $7.49. So there was a lot
definitely
wrong
put
with
that
this.
on the wrong Black Series.
Sometimes things work out for us.
Is every single mall, they had about 4 of them on the shelf. They all had it. It wasn't like one only.
You're about to get an
just made
Instagram
money.
message from freaking Target and be like, yo, we need to talk.
I'm waiting for
at Target. If you're out there listening, thank you so much for the awesome deal. Whoever met me up, please give me their name. I will write them a review. Thank you.
Do you think you just got them fired?
Yeah, that guy's like, leave my name out of this.
That's not how
you're also
Target
going to get
rolls.
about 40 DMs of people asking you where that Target is.
Okay, so for the record, it's going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Okay, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
You're really just narrowing this poor guy down. You're like, he had blonde hair, lazy eye.
So
leg.
they also had a few other clearance items too. So if you go there, you might be able to pick something else up. But I wasn't gonna buy anything but $7. I said holler. And also, I just want to mention I got a email that I saw literally just before I jumped on this tonight, and it was from my dear friends at Hasbro, telling me one of my pre-orders shipped as well.
What is it?
Good old Vernstra.
I actually just canceled that pre-order. I'm gonna wait to see if she ends up being less. But but now I can't wait to see yours. I may end up just rebuying that figure.
She was the only one from Accolade that I pre-ordered.
So that one was part of the wave with her, Dagon Gera, which I ordered, Luke, and I can't remember who the hell else was in that last wave.
Leia and Basil.
Yes, that's right.
I did not cancel my Basil pre-order because
I never
love that little Basil.
So originally, I did have Vern on pre-order, and then I did cancel her a while back, and then I pre-ordered her again when a couple of the other ones came out just to save on shipping, and because I finished the High Republic book. Yes.
That's why.
She's honestly, I think she might get name dropped in that book, maybe, but she's not in there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You're all High Republiced up now.
Oh yeah, Ari's really excited. He's gonna drop off the next installment for me. So
I still need to finish the first one.
maybe in 2025 I can read 2 books.
I can't read, so you guys just.
No, I do read my son. I do read my son 2 to 3 books every night. So technically,
I'm like, what do you call it? Kel on Good Burger. I know some of these words.
It's me. No, just kidding. Everything I learned was from YouTube videos.
A hippopotamus.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll finish this off, boys. I was kind of like torn on what to do. So like, I've posted a lot of my newer stuff on Instagram already. So I was like, all right, let me pull something I have not shown before, and that is a little bit on the kind of a little bit older, and it was this. Well, I don't know if you can see it. This guy.
Oh yeah, it was very hard to stand up. It's good you kept that in the package.
Yeah. So this and like so, I thought about busting these open because I'm kind of starting to get into that realm. But I was like, I really liked the 3 of them that came in this from the Clone Wars 2D series, which is this Grievous, the ARC Trooper, and Mace Windu. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep it in there. This was Grievous. I think was like the hardest one to find out of those 3 when they got released out in Walmarts and stuff like that. Mace Windu ended up going to like clearance because he was like extremely easy to find. The ARC Trooper and Grievous were stupid hard to find though. Love the way it looks. I love that this is like one of the original or I should say older ones that came with some cloth material because it's got the cloth cape on it. So this is a little bit before its time, so to say. Yeah. But yeah, just a cool, fun figure. Nothing too crazy.
So I was at a toy show here in Grand Rapids as well last December, I think, or no, it wasn't. It was two Decembers ago. It's when I got my Captain Rex. Okay, so I was wandering the aisles, and this guy had that Grievous figure, and I really wanted it. I still don't have it. And he was like, $20. I was like, are you shitting me? And he was like, no, $20. I was like, all right. I whip out my card, and he was like, cash only. And I was like, sir, I do not have cash. It is 2024. Or 2023 at the time. But
you want me to go down to the livery? What is the...
So I was like, well, let me go get some cash. On my way to the ATM,
let me go rob a stagecoach.
Rex, and Rex was $50, and the guy took card, and I was like, sorry, dude, I'm getting Rex.
Missed out.
Yeah, fair enough. I was hoping to have something else this week. I got a new Saber inbound. Unfortunately, the weather that's smacking across the middle of the country got it delayed up in Kentucky, so hopefully I'll have that for next week.
Wait, hold on. Ant, do you have the battle damage Grievous? I could have sworn to God you had that Grievous.
I have both.
Okay, that's the one you have. Okay, you have the battle damage. Got it. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and
I don't have that Grievous, but I have the
battle damage in the OG, right?
Yeah, the OG. One.
Yeah. All right. If anybody wonders how much Ant and I look at each other's collections, sorry. Go on, Eric. We digress. We have something important to do. I understand.
It is. Well, listen, it is. We do got something important to do because it's time for our giveaway now. So for all of you guys who are listening, watching this, might not have heard it last week or just joined in for the first time, we partnered up with Gory Comics, which is an amazing t-shirt company. I'm actually wearing one of theirs right now. And essentially, we got our own t-shirt made for the podcast, and we are going to be giving one of these away in conjunction with Gory Comics to one lucky guest. So we held this contest on our Instagram. Now, before I go ahead and do the the spin the wheel thing, I want to go ahead and show you guys what this looks like because I absolutely love the way this t-shirt is. So this is their website.
We can share things now, Eric. You forgot the soundboard. Yeah.
So listen, we're learning a little bit of time. So this is
one thing at a time.
Yeah. So this is
He's been waiting to press this button. Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. So anyways, this is it. You can find it on their website. Comes in 6 different colors, all the way up to 4XL. I myself just ordered that one I just showed, the chili, which I'm stoked to get. And I can't wait to get that. It's spicy.
Why is it spicy? I like that one.
That's one fiery Minoc I'm eating.
And now we are going to get into the giveaway. And now we are going to jump on and actually do this live on our Instagrams as well. So we are going to go ahead and let's get on the interwebs, guys.
A few moments later.
So, anyways, for everybody who is joining in for us on Instagram Live, I want to thank you guys for stopping in with us for a couple minutes because we are going to be doing the Sith Happens t-shirt giveaway. Now, we got it all set up to do our own Wheel of Names giveaway here. So, I am joined with they got my lovely friends, Matty Ice and Ant, otherwise known as Black Series Daily Desk, and I am not a committee on Instagram. So I want to take a quick moment just to say thank you so much to Gory Comics for putting this t-shirt together for us so we can get our name out there, grow this podcast, keep trying to spread some more positivity in the Star Wars community. So Josh, who is the lead guy at Gory, who kind of does everything over there, I appreciate you, man, and thank you so much. Now, we are going to jump straight into this, so excuse me while I get this set up. All right.
There we go.
And we are going to spin.
Spinning. It's going to be the blue one on the top.
It's Obi-Wan's brother.
Oh, God.
And it is Danny Fandom. Congratulations, Danny. And super, super happy for you, man. Let me flip this back around. All right. So, anyways, we will be getting in touch with you here in a little bit to coordinate getting your address and sending this out to you. Let me go ahead and take this off the screen on the podcast, if I can. There we go.
This is our first time doing it, guys. It gets better every time. Yeah. I promise.
We're learning as we go. So, but anyways, congratulations, Danny. Super happy for you. We'll reach out to everybody else listening and watching right now. Thank you guys for joining in. We're going to cut the live, but be sure to check out our full podcast episode on YouTube and on Spotify, where we get into episode 7 of Skeleton Crew. So thank you guys, and may the Force be with you. We had the great giveaway. Cannot wait to get my own shirt, which should be here on Saturday, actually. Right. And as we close to the end, my brothers, that's it for this week. We are, dude. I'll tell you what. Next week's going to be an amazing week, though.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
The season. I don't know about series, but season finale of Skeleton Crew is going to knock our socks off. Is my expectation. To complete honest.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a season finale at this point. I mean, the show's done. I've been seeing all over the place articles.
I think we're getting a second season.
It's so beloved at this point. Like, it has been
seriously
received in a way that no Star Wars show has been received really since The Mandalorian came out, I think. Like, even Obi-Wan didn't get this type of love.
Yeah, I mean, Obi-Wan.
All sorts of fans, too, and not just Star Wars fans.
It's the power of not trying to pander to anybody. You're going off an original story.
Yeah.
An old story, like, making an original story out of existing characters. And
Correct.
we the three of us love all that stuff, but I think that's where you divide a lot of people because they have an attachment and they have expectations for those characters. So this was exactly what we always said it was meant to do: bring in new fans and excite fans that want something different.
Absolutely, man, and it's done exactly that. So, but boys, it wraps us up for this week. Ant, why don't you? Sorry. Got ahead of myself. All you guys listening and watching at home, we want to thank you guys for joining us today. If you guys want to, you can please check us out on @SithHappens_Star Wars podcast on Instagram. On there, you'll be able to find our link tree, which will bring you to all of our various podcast platforms, our YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, pretty much you name it, we're there. Please give us a follow and check us out for more of these upcoming giveaways, and be sure to check out our most recent episodes. Ant, my friend, now we're going to you.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to talk.
Careful, I threw him off with that before. But
Well, it's okay. It's okay to be thrown off. No, that episode.
You would think with all my public speaking I do for my job, I would have gotten used to that, but
Yep, you're all good.
yeah,
It's okay. This is a safe place. But no, thank you for talking about this episode tonight, guys. Like, again, it's mind-blowing Star Wars at its finest that we're seeing.
Absolutely.
And I have not at all been looking. In fact, I haven't looked at all, tried to find anything online about this other than like articles. The articles I mentioned before that I've seen, they're not on like Star Wars Facebook pages. They're on like Google when I open it up,
Yeah.
So I don't know if people are talking smack about this one or not, but
I don't think so. Like, there's some,
I haven't
but
seen
it's minimal.
I'm hoping, I'm hoping it gets a great, overall review and engagement from the audience space where we do get a season 2. And, if the rumors from what we've heard, if there is one, that it's maybe going to be down the road because that'll account for the aging of the actors. I think that'd be awesome. So
Absolutely.
Anyway, we're getting ahead of myself. Let's get excited for next week's season finale.
Oh, we don't need to get excited. We are excited.
Oh, hell yeah. Straight tens across the
Absolutely.
board here. So together, we're straight tens. I can't do math right now. I did math all day at work. I was staring at a spreadsheet, and I was just like, I'm over it. I am over it. But anyways, this has been fun, everybody. We will see you next week.
Matt, sign us off, brother.
It's not only a safe space, it's a Sith space. And with that said, may the Force be with you always.
And I'm the Dadalorian. Thank you guys for joining us again. We'll catch you next week. This is the way.